Welcome back to the Webby and O'Neill channel. Benjamin Šeško's the priority, but will Manchester United match Leipzig's valuation to bring him to Old Trafford? We're going to go through the latest report, so please get involved, have your say, and try and discuss some of your comments throughout today's video. I do apologise, a bit tongue-twisted this morning. It's been near enough 24 hours I've been awake for, and I've not had any sleep. And if you've not already watched our match reaction for Manchester United versus Bournemouth, please go and watch it and do us a favour. At least it'll make it that bit sweeter staying up for 24 hours. But yeah, we're going to go on the latest reports on Benjamin Šeško, so please get involved and we'll discuss them throughout today's video. Now, David Ornstein, I think he's the best one. I think he's at the top of the pyramid to be discussing this. So I'm going to get onto him right now. Where are we? Here we go. RB Leipzig seeking a fee of €75 million plus add-ons, as well as a sell-on percentage for any deal for Šeško. Now, he did also mention, which I'll get onto, that he is actually the priority signing for Manchester United.
What a week. Transfer news, madness. It's all madness in it. A week ago, we was all looking at Ollie Watkins. But I think when Aston Villa turned round, told Manchester United, nah, we're not selling him. We are not selling him. I think United have accepted that, and they've put the look out, and they want Šeško in. I look at it. Christopher Vivell, director of recruitment, he knows about him. They looked at him last year. They wanted him last year. For what reason? They never actually went for him. I think they had other targets, but they know about him and they've kept their eye on him. Goal scorer, it's what you want. Now, I've read some comments last night about the valuation. I've said it before. If United end up paying £70 million, that's the going rate. That's what it is. I've no problem with it. For good players, you look at Kuna, you look at Mbumo, the goal scorers, yes, in the Premier League, £70 million. Let's call it that average, okay? That is what the going rate is. And I just look at it and think to myself, it's going to be a difficult deal. Very, very difficult. So there's more to go. A lot of legs on this, and this might go down to the wire because the reports I read last night, they're all talking about can United get a deal done? And what they mean by that is, can they get the money? Can they work it out? Can they get player sales out of this club? That's where it's going to get tricky. So there's a lot of legs to go on this.
Yeah, as the report says, in the Athletic, Leipzig want €75 million plus add-ons and a sell-on clause as well. Now, if you want in pounds sterling, the €75 million is roughly £64 to £65 million. But in the market right now for strikers, you're looking at Ekitike with Liverpool, Gyökeres and João Pedro. I mean, is that an actual fair price, considering his age and the potential there?
Well, you're forgetting Newcastle. They want Šeško. Yeah. They've put the money down. They know everything. They know the wages, the lot. This deal's not done. So it's a fair price. It's a striker. Everyone wants a striker. And United have to act. But I don't see him acting quickly on it. And this is where it can go wrong. You know, does Šeško hang on for United, trying to offload and raise money? Is that the problem? I believe it's the problem. A lot of United fans have been talking about that's the problem. We have to sell before we buy anybody. That has been the claim coming out of United for quite a while anyway. But Newcastle, there's a deal on the table, and Šeško, he might not feel as though he wants to hang around and take the chance. It is a problem. It's a professional footballer, opportunity Champions League and that. If United put a deal together, that's what all the reports are saying. This isn't a done deal, but he is the number one target. And £70 million, I've no qualms about it. It's the going rate.
Some people are saying, well, they're actually balking at the actual figures mentioned for Šeško. Antel says, I'm just going to say it, lads, that's far too much with add-ons and a sell-on. It's that sell-on bit for me.
Listen,
how much are they going to want and insert in a sell-on into the actual deal? I mean, if it's anything over like 15-20%, I mean...
Well, it's the art of negotiation. This is what it's about. This is why it will drag on, right? This is why it will drag on. But £70 million, goal scorer, okay? He's 22 years of age. and he scores goals, and there's a long-term future here at Manchester United for him. Now, I preferred Ollie Watkins because he's proven in the Premier League, okay? His age goes against him with a lot of people, but a couple of years, he's proven now. But that's what Ruben Amorim wants. He wanted proven players, okay? Wanted players what wanted to come here. So for me, £70 million, I think it's, you know, I just look at it and I really can't understand why people are balking at this price for a goal scorer who's 22. I think it's value, and we should get this done as quickly as possible. But my fear is this won't get done quickly. This will drag on, and I think it could go pear-shaped, to be honest with you, because of the talk in the reports about swap deals and things like that. They're always messy if they ever get completed.
Well, as you can see on screen, Chris Wheeler, and I think I've seen Fabrizio Romano say this as well, and as you can see at the bottom, United would also consider a swap plus cash deal involving one of their players. Rasmus Højlund could be used as a mate weight. I mean, are they just throwing Rasmus Højlund's name in there? I mean, do you think there's any substance to any of that?
I'm not sure whether there's any substance to that, but if that's what's out there, that's what's being said, and people, when Romano talks, people listen. So you have to listen. But I look at Rasmus Højlund, and we've all heard the comments coming out of United and from Rasmus Højlund's camp. He wants to stay at Man United, and I've always believed that Manchester United will give him this year to try it. I don't see Højlund going anywhere. I think he's got one more year to prove himself, and if he does it, that's fine. And if he doesn't, then I think United will get rid of him next year. But for me, Højlund is in no swap deal. We need Højlund here, okay? He's got on a pre-season. He's there to improve. And the couple of games I've seen him, and people should agree on this, he's improving. He's not the greatest. We know that at the moment. But he's got the potential and he should improve. He's had it tough. There's no two ways about it. But a swap deal, not for me.
I've just got a little bit of a snippet up what Amorim said after the Man United versus Bournemouth game. As you can see on the top there, I'm really happy with Rasmus. I don't know what is going to happen until the end of the market. Strikers are working well, helping the team. That is really important, and Rasmus is improving. But, I mean, it's not like a definite no, he's staying here at Manchester United. Would you not interpret that as like the door's half open?
No, I wouldn't interpret that, because at the end of the day, he's not fully in charge, Ruben Amorim, of who stays, who goes. The policy is set by the director of recruitment and the other people in suits. So at the end of the day, he's not in charge. He wouldn't know. It's only like Šeško go to Newcastle. You know, the manager there has come out about Isaac, and he's not in charge. Managers aren't in charge. So, yes, he knows Hojlund wants to stay. And I believe he should stay. But for me, I've no criticism of Amorim not knowing. I don't think it's a blag in any way. I think he's just telling it as he sees it. And he sees Rasmus being part of this team. I think he'd be very upset, Ruben Amorim, getting rid of a young striker who I think he wants to try and make a better player.
Yeah, as you can see on screen now, a bit from Graham Bayliss says Vivell had lengthy in-house talks with Šeško before United opened talks with the player and later made him their new top summer target. But as you can see at the bottom, Vivell was speaking to Amorim and Wilcox, and it's like he sort of like turned him round, persuaded him to look more towards Šeško than Ollie Watkins. Do you believe any of that? Do you think maybe Amorim wanted someone here for the now, like a plug-in-and-play player who's, you know, there's not that much?
I think there is a difference in the camp of who they wanted. I think that's clear because, as I said, Ollie Watkins was the man last year, and he wants proven goal scorers. That's what he wants, proven players what have the experience in the Premier League. He wants it for the here and now. So for me, it was always going to be Ollie Watkins for Ruben Amorim. But they all have a sit down. They've said it before, and they all have give their opinion. But it looks like Christopher Vivell, who has worked at RB Leipzig, been there, and they looked at him like Christopher Vivell was talking about him last year, but for some reason the deal didn't get done. Now he's turned round. This is the option. This is what I want. Now, is he the first option? That's a question people have been asking. We've heard of Gyökeres and everyone, Osimhen, you name it, the lot, okay? Ekitike, they've all been on the lips of every United fan, and we've gone through a big list, and it's come down to this at the end. But he's with Newcastle. The conversations have gone on. You know, I listened to a comment from Craig Hope, who's a North East correspondent up there, and he claims inside United, Newcastle feel that it's likely he will go to Manchester United. So there's been a lot of conversations going on and a lot of things being leaked. So 95% I am that he's coming to Manchester United. The other 5% is the problem getting the money and the deal.
Darren Cox says United have to get this done. It's a good deal. It's 70 mil. Watch his highlights. Šeško can smash a shot. Gricker says, give us Šeško plus the new lads, Cunha and Mbeumo, and that's a transformational goal threat for the season ahead. Chill out on them big, long, fancy words, mate. It's very early without sleep for me, mate.
I think every Manchester United fan is willing this deal on. We have to have a centre-forward in. We shouldn't be selling a centre-forward who, under Ruben Amorim, might improve this year. We have to get a centre-forward in. There's no two ways about it. We will be light with Mbeumo going over the winter period. So for me, it is imperative that we get a forward in, and this player scores goals. I'm happy with it. The alternative for me was Watkins, but hey, that's gone now. Aston Villa have made it clear. So going forward, we need 2 strikers signing, but we're only going to get 1. And that deal is going to be very tricky.
Mark Roberts says, feeling more positive this week with our performance and progression. And if we get Šeško over the line, what a decent window.
Hey, listen, I think it's a risk. I think it's a risk because will Šeško wait? That's the thing. I've mentioned it just before. I've mentioned it a few times. It's a risk for Šeško to hang on and hope that United... You know, we've seen how incompetent they've been in the past. We just want this done. And I'm not 100% that they can get it. We want it. But for me, a big risk. And when they're talking, Newcastle up there, about they believe he's going to go at United, does Šeško really believe that? Because, you know, I'm sure as a player, speaking to him last year and knowing Christopher Vivell, he would have made it clear to them that he wanted to come to Manchester United, and United should have gone out there and got this deal done. And it seems as though leaving it too late is the risk. Talk of a swap plus cash, that's risky. And that just might go down to the wire, you never know. And it's down to the player. And I think the player will look at his own future.
Ansel, thanks for your super chat, mate. Says Mateta, 6'4", final year of his contract. I mean, if you're looking at what they're doing now with the strategy, I mean, going from someone like Ollie Watkins, obviously the age is an issue for them, no resale value. Now going to Šeško, I do think that's just their priority, and it's the only option they're going to look at, mate, especially in this transfer window, to be honest with you. But I was thinking earlier on, having a brief discussion with you, that the longer it does go on in this transfer window, and if they've not got a deal done for him, should they actually move on to other targets in other positions, let's say in the midfield or a goalkeeper, and just think, well, let's look at this next summer, because we've already got Cunha and Mbeumo in, who should be able to create and score goals next season?
No, I think when you look at the transfer strategy of Manchester United, I think it was pretty clear at the end of the season. They were going to bring in 2 players. They had a budget for 2 players. And we always said it, that the third player, what they will bring in, they won't bring in more than 3 players, will depend on sales. And this is what this deal's going to be. It's on sales. And if they can scrape any money from anywhere else, fine. But no, 3 players is maximum, and it's a centre forward, the third player with the money. I don't think they're going to just scrape and run around at the death and look for a midfield player or anything like that. They're concentrating on a centre forward.
Yeah, it's good though to hear some of the reports. I mean, take them with a pinch of salt, but that Šeško's willing to wait for Manchester United. It seems like another player who wants to come to the club though and is prioritising a move to Manchester United, like we've seen with Cunha and Mbeumo. I mean, 2 players there who Newcastle wanted. I mean, could we make it third time as well with Šeško?
It's clear he's edging his bets with Newcastle because there's a deal done there. Just needs to sign it. But is he prepared to wait? I don't think so. I think so. I just don't. I wouldn't wait for too long. The option is there with Newcastle. The option's not on the table. There's not a deal done. There's not a price set. So for me, it won't go to the wire. I think he will make a decision and United will have to hurry up and get this sorted. Like I say, it's a risk. It's a risk for any player to hang on, waiting for someone to sort out cash and a deal. This is very messy. There's no 2 ways about it.
Yeah, I'd just like to thank you all for joining us today, getting involved in the chat. Just thought you'd do a bit of a brief update on the latest news on Benjamin Šeško. It is getting to that time right now as well where we're going to need a little bit of sleep, recharge the batteries after watching that game last night and a lack of sleep, I've got to be honest with you. So I appreciate you all joining us this morning. If you can smash that like button, it would really help support the channel, and we'll be back either later on this evening or tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Take care. See you soon.
Thank you very much.